Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today's explainer feels a bit like we're plotting a digital heist. We're going to figure out how to bypass one of the most notoriously strict browser fingerprinting tests on the entire web. It's called CreepJS. And if you're out there managing multiple accounts, running affiliate campaigns, or handling sensitive automated workflows, well, you already know what a total fortress this system is.
So let's start with a highly frustrating reality. Why is it that brand new accounts just keep getting banned or thrown into those endless, agonizing login loops? And this happens even after you've diligently cleared your cookies, wiped your cache, and switched up your IP address. Well, it's because those basic changes, they simply aren't enough anymore. See, CreepJS acts as this invisible, hyper-advanced security system. It is specifically designed to catch the digital footprints you didn't even know you were leaving behind. Literally, your setup might be failing quietly right now, and you wouldn't even get an obvious error message.
So what exactly is the magic number for this mission? It's 90. To blend in seamlessly and stop getting flagged by these platforms, you absolutely need a highly coveted CreepJS trust score of 90 or above, right alongside a report that says no lies. If you score anything lower than a 90, it means your digital environment is mismatched. It's leaking obvious clues to security systems.
Okay, let's dive into the blueprint for this bypass. We'll be hitting Phase 1, the CreepJS fingerprint test, followed by Phase 2, why most browsers fail. Then Phase 3, prepping your digital disguise. Phase 4, the step-by-step bypass. And finally, Phase 5, real-world risks and limits.
All right, let's jump straight into Phase 1, the target, also known as the CreepJS fingerprint test.
Now you've got to understand, the CreepJS test is not your average everyday security check. Far from it. It's this advanced browser fingerprinting tool that probes dozens, literally dozens of invisible signals. We are talking about things that go way, way beyond a simple IP address check. It's looking at your screen resolution, your operating system, your language settings, and even these really deep rendering quirks. The system takes all this data and assigns you a numeric trust score based on how normal your setup actually looks. If it finds a contradiction, say claiming you're on a Mac but your graphics render like a Windows machine, it literally flags it as a lie and completely tanks your score. Moving right along to Phase 2, the traps. Let's look at why most browsers actually fail this test. To really wrap our heads around this, imagine what a lie actually looks like to CreepJS. Think about an IP address routing through Germany, right? But the browser's time zone is set to the Pacific coast of North America, and maybe the language is set to Chinese. A real, everyday human user almost never has this kind of massive contradiction. CreepJS automatically cross-checks these pairs, instantly spots the inconsistency, and boom, drops your trust score. This is exactly why manual tweaks rarely hold up against this intense level of scrutiny. But wait, it goes deeper. Beyond location mismatches, there are these deep hardware traps, stuff that your basic VPNs and IP spoofers completely ignore. For instance, CreepJS checks if your WebGL renderer actually matches your GPU info. It looks at your canvas hash. If that hash changes on every single reload, or if it looks like a known headless browser, you are caught red-handed. It even tests your audio context. This essentially means it listens to how your specific hardware processes sound. Actually, faking that unique audio signature is incredibly difficult for basic spoofing tools.
And interestingly enough, automation bots leave very specific traces behind. CreepJS aggressively hunts for frameworks like Selenium or Puppeteer by searching for missing standard browser APIs or these weird timing gaps in event handling. It turns out, just flipping that navigator.webdriver flag to false, that doesn't work anymore. Now CreepJS is looking for missing error handling or fake plugin arrays. See, bots move with this robotic millisecond perfection. And honestly, that is a dead giveaway compared to messy, random human timing.
So, before we make our run at the system, we need to gather our equipment. In Phase 3, the gear, prepping your digital disguise.
Okay, listen up, because here is the pre-test checklist. And even one missed step here acts as a fatal leak that will completely ruin the entire operation. First, you absolutely must match your proxy to your target country and city. Second, auto-match your browser time zone and language to that exact proxy. Third, you've got to start with a completely fresh or deeply isolated browser profile. Clear out all those old cookies, cache, and local storage, because old site data, it's a silent fingerprint killer. And finally, thoroughly check that proxy for IP, time zone, and DNS leaks before you ever load the target page.
Time to actually walk past those security guards. Here is Phase 4, the execution, the step-by-step bypass. Let's walk through this procedure step by step.
Step 1. Set up a highly realistic profile, where your user agent, your WebGL, and your OS all perfectly align. Step 2. Integrate a stable residential proxy. Don't use data center IPs, they are highly suspicious. Step 3. Run the test on CreepJS, isolate the lies, and change just one single setting at a time to find the exact broken signal triggering the alarm. And Step 4. If your score stays low, don't waste time chasing invisible bugs. Just rebuild the profile from scratch, or better yet, use an anti-detect browser to scale properly.
And hey, speaking of scaling, if you're running bulk accounts, you obviously can't manually tweak every single setting for every account. That's where tools like Decloak come in. Think of them as the getaway vehicles for this operation. They let you generate separate, distinct browser profiles for each account, ensuring every single profile gets its own deeply isolated environment and unique fingerprint. You integrate individual proxies per profile, which basically guarantees you won't cross wires, reuse fingerprints, or leak data between your different accounts.
Now for the reality check. We're at Phase 5, the twist, real-world risks and limits.
So, beating the fingerprint check is really only getting past the front door of the vault. Checking your disguise against multiple systems is mandatory because, well, they all look for different things. CreepJS is fantastic for catching subtle OS mismatches, but something like Fingerprint.js is better for standard checks. Broprint is great if you just need a fast basic signal check, and browser leaks will give you a massive manual info dump. The takeaway here? Passing CreepJS does not mean you're invisible everywhere. What passes one system might completely fail another, so cross-checking is absolutely essential before scaling up.
And then you have the hidden bosses. These are the checks that literally no fingerprint spoofer can hide you from. Sites are running server-side checks on your IP reputation and TLS handshake patterns. If your proxy has a shady history, you're getting flagged, regardless of how perfect your browser details are. Plus the running behavioral analysis. They track your mouse pads, your scroll speed, and even that natural human hesitation before clicking. If your automated tool clicks too perfectly, or navigates without those messy, random human pauses, you will stand out immediately.
To really hammer this home, let me share a crucial quote from our source material. It says, "Passing CreepJS only covers the technical side, not behavioral signals or account history. If you automate suspicious actions, platforms may still flag you." That's the reality, folks. Technical perfection is completely useless if it isn't paired up with flawless operational security and genuine human-like behavior. Which leaves us with this final, truly critical thought. Let's say you've mastered the heist. You bypassed the guards, you cleared all the mismatches, and you successfully forged the ultimate perfect digital fingerprint. But once you're actually inside the vault, can you act human enough to stay inside the system? Keep testing, keep updating your strategies, and most importantly, stay curious, focused learners. I'll catch you in the next explainer.